All right, y'all, I got some more major breaking news here for you. So Trump just validated that indeed what the U.S. is trying to do in Iran is regime change. He said the following: "It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change?" And then he says, MEGA, which is make Iran great again. So this is yet again absolute verification that the real goal that the U.S. and Israel want in Iran is regime change. I warned you about this. It's the curse of being right all the time about everything. But I told you yesterday when they attacked their 3 major nuclear facilities that this is not the actual goal. This is just a smokescreen. They're just obfuscating with this. This is the cover story that they use. The cover story is they're about to get a nuke and we can't have that. They weren't about to get a nuke, and even if they were about to get a nuke, it wouldn't be a threat to us. They would only have it for deterrence against Western aggression. So what's happening here is he's taking the mask off. The cat's out of the bag now. The truth is out. The real goal is regime change in Iran. That's the real goal. So what's going to happen from here is Iran's going to retaliate. There's a number of things they can do in retaliation. One of those things is to attack U.S. bases in the region. That very well may happen. Another thing is shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. The ball is already rolling on that front, so I'll have a lot more to say about this tomorrow on the show. Definitely tune in. Subscribe below on Secular Talk. You're not going to want to miss it. We have a giant show with so many super important stories. I'm not going to get into all of it here, but the bottom line is Iran's going to retaliate. Then the U.S., of course, is going to retaliate to the retaliation. But remember, the main question is, who fucking started it? Who started all this? It was the U.S. Trump ripped up the original agreement with Iran in 2018. They were abiding by that agreement perfectly. And then now he turns around after the fact and says, why aren't you abiding by the agreement? Abiding by what agreement? You ripped it up. That gives them a green light to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And even given that, they weren't building nuclear weapons. They only had uranium enrichment to the level of power for their power grid and for scientific research. But here is Trump, yet again, validating, verifying exactly what I told you. I told you the ultimate goal is regime change. It's not just me saying it. Cy Hirsch also reported that the other day, that the green light had already been given, not just to attack Iran's nuclear facilities, but ultimately to take out the entire Iranian Revolutionary Guard, to take out the supreme leader, to take out the mullahs. He even reports that one of the long-term goals is destroy all the civil infrastructure in Tehran. Go after police stations, for example, is one of the things that he listed. So the truth is finally out there. He's being open, he's being honest about it. And by the way, all of the MAGA losers who were trying to cover their asses when they used to pretend they were anti-war and now they immediately flip and they're pro-war, what they were saying was, or at least what many of them were saying was, this isn't regime change. This is just like, a quick strike in and out. It's actually defensive. It's not offensive. And Trump was getting bad advice. But also, this was like a major success. And clearly, this is not like a long-term engagement. Clearly, like, he just acted decisively. This is peace through strength. And like, now we're good, bro. So they had all this cope that was built up around it. But Trump comes out literally day 1 after the illegal and offensive bombing. And Trump admits this is actually about regime change. So I'm going to say it again, and you're going to hear me say this a lot in the coming days and coming weeks and coming months. But you have to impeach. This is not a question. This is not a debate. This is not up in the air. This is not open to interpretation. He flagrantly is violating the Constitution. Remember, only Congress can declare war. Only Congress can. This is a unilateral decision to bring the U.S. into war. That is impeachment worthy. It is impeachment worthy. They'll come up with some bullshit story about, no, we're allowed to do this because it was defensive. There's literally fucking no evidence for that whatsoever. Absolutely preposterous. And then they'll move the goalpost to, oh no, this was covered under the authorization for use of military force from the early 2000s for the war on terror. Even though Iran had nothing to do with 9/11, Iran had nothing to do with the war on terror, right? So it's going to be utterly made up. Impeach, impeach, impeach. Democrats, get out there. I want to hear everybody screaming about this on the talk shows. We need coordinated messaging from the top down. No more of this shit. He's a psychopath. He's a danger to the entire fucking world. And he's about to destroy this country further and destroy the world and light it on fire as he already started the process with the other day.